Uh, have you started your revision as usual? Have you started looking at the code which we have developed together? Okay, so let me ask you. Either you might be coding along in the morning or my own this. So if you did not build, you could import my day 5 CMS or your own case study. And the highlights of today were redirect, client pull, session tracking, which is based upon HTTP session. How did we do the HTML generation, including form generation, links generation dynamically? And how did we manage the resources of DAOs using the session API? So I want you to tell me frankly, whatever majority says will do. So anyone wants me to revise as I've been revising in last 2 days, or have you understood it? A revision will be good. Okay, so we will start with the revision and then we will talk about fixing bugs and then we'll definitely talk about discussing the admin flow. So let's get started, guys. Open the, I hope everyone has imported. Those who did not have earlier, has everyone imported day 5 CMS? Can I start the revision? Okay, so you should start it the way the requests are sent. So like we did yesterday, I hope it is helping you, this revision part. So let us identify the requests. So I'm starting with the first request. So the first request is going to be, everyone knows, currently localhost, but like I said, any host, any port, it could be anything, and D5 CMS. So you will help me. So this is taken up by the web container. Web container consults the web.xml, and in the response, which will be the file, what will be the contents, which will be the welcome file, which will be sent in the response as the first request login form. So this part is the same. Some of the parts are same as yesterday. So this is how, when any client sends a request, you should see that, or rather you should know how that login form is, how that login page is sent as the response. So open src main web app, web inf, web xml. Now we have removed all the unnecessary stuff and only the tag we have kept is welcome file is login.html. So is everyone clear with the first request response flow? So this login form is downloaded, sent to the client browser. Talking about the next one now. Clear 100%? I mean, there's hardly anything. So now, so this form will be downloaded. So open the login form. This is kind of repetitive, doesn't matter. So when you open login form, you know it is a completely static HTML form, which we will replace later by JSP, make it dynamic and all that. So the standard question, when user clicks on submit button, that is login button, what will be the URL? Okay, you don't have to tell me URL, just tell me the URI of the next request. Everyone knows the answer, but like I said, good to revise. So after form submission, yes, please. What will be the request URL? URL, URI, whatever. Let's see what you're sending. Yes, absolutely correct. So here, I'll just pick up this, the initial part. So I hope nobody has now any confusion. This is your scheme is equal to protocol sitting on the top, application level protocol sitting on the top of TCP IP. This is the host, could be local host, could be remote host. This is a dev environment, so local host. In the prod environment, production environment, you will replace the local host by the actual production server, which could be AWS, Heroku, Cloud, anywhere. And this is the port number. This is the remaining part is the uniform resource identifier, which starts with the web project name or the context root. To be precise, context root. And last part, what is the last part called? Last portion of the URL. What is it called? Let me see what you are answering. URL pattern, absolutely. So now this is not ending in .html, .jsp, .css, .js. So that is why this is taken as a URL pattern. This is taken as the key, and the container will look into the map. And what it will search, is there any entry in the map with this key? So you tell me, is there any entry in the map with this key existing? Answer is yes. So we know about this request mapping. So this is mapped to what? A servlet or anything else? Of course, a servlet. URL pattern maps to the servlet. So which is the servlet you are going to open? Open the login servlet and confirm. Is it all matching? 100% yes. So everyone is super clear how the control reaches login servlet? How the, let me say what he's saying. Aman, can we get email and password by get? Yes, we can. Absolutely. But Aman, the whole point is you have to, how will you choose get versus post? If you are sending any sensitive information, typically the authentication information, if you have ID and PIN, you send it in a secure manner. So I chose post. And further also, Aman, wherever there is a form submission, that what is that? Topic selection and all, you can replace get by post. So that freedom already exists. Understood me, Aman? Okay, so continue. So now the moment you say load on startup one, what is the loading policy for this servlet? Lazy or eager? It's a eager initialization. Means what? When will container start the life cycle of your login servlet? At the deployment time. So the moment you are deploying, how do you deploy application? Right click, run as, run on server. Everyone knows that. What will container check? Container will check, is there any servlet to be loaded on startup? It finds this. And which are the three things it will do at the application deployment time? What all it will do for this servlet? Three things it will do. You know that. Which three things? Tell me. Yes, class loading, instantiation, and the init method. Perfect. So your servlet class, login servlet class has been already loaded in the method area of a server side. The one singleton instance of the servlet has been created. And the third thing is init method is also called. But now yesterday's init and today's init is different. So tell me, till yesterday, we were creating how many DAO instances? Only one. So here, what we are doing is, we identified for all. For all means, you have to see, keep the case study in front of you, and you take a, what is it called, what all DAO layers you are going to require. So for this, we are requiring user DAO, topic DAO, and for the rest, tutorial DAO, right? So we created all these DAO instances and kept it ready. And of course, the creation, getting connected, preparing statement is a time consuming process. So in order not to delay any clients, any first request or first request sent to the servlet, we are doing all these stuff. We are doing all these jobs right at the what? Deployment time. So at the deployment time, before any client has logged in, our DAO instances are ready, waiting for the clients to, to demand the services. That was the point. Now, opposite. Who will call this destroy method? Container. When? Just before garbage collecting the servlet instance. So what are the three triggers? Yes, at the end. So what are the three triggers for the container to call this destroy method of any servlet? Tell me. Three triggers are stopping the server, yes. Server reload, reload the application, or you can say uninstall, yes, undeploy, right? So if you say remove all, you are undeploying an application. So before all of that, or all at those times, container will first call destroy. It will give your servlet a chance to release the resources, whatever resources you are holding, and then the servlet instance will be marked for garbage collection. So you can just control click and you can open anything. So tell me, in those individual cleanup method, what is it we are closing? Prepared statements or connections? Rather, connections is wrong. Connection, only prepared statements. Why? Because even when I'm creating 3 different DAO instances, how many connections is it sharing? 1 or 3 separate? 1. Everyone understands it. So naturally, I'll have to close it exactly once. So if you come back to login servlet, after closing all these statements, what is happening? You can say control click here. We are last and final thing we are doing is closing the connection before terminating, before I would say stopping the server or whatever. Understood the concept? I mean, understood the statement, all the statements I made so far? Okay. Last statement before I go to the do get or do post method. Is this a scalable approach? Is what a scalable approach? Sharing one connection. Is this a scalable approach when the client load actually, when the concurrency actually increases? Absolutely not. This is not a scalable approach, that because see, currently it is all working fine because at any point of time, only one client I can bring in, right? I'm testing it on a single host, local host. So, but when you expose it to, when you go to the production environment, prod environment, and when there are multiple clients concurrently accessing for the services, this single connection will definitely encounter blocking. So, which is the solution to that? Instead of having single connection, create connection pool. Or there's a beautiful concept of a connection pooling. But in JDBC, I generally don't show that. Anyway, I have to show you. Anyway, your project technology is going to be Hibernate. So let us come to Hibernate and we will replace this entire connection management which we are doing. We will be delegating it to Hibernate. In simple English, that single connection instance will be replaced by connection pool in future. Okay, so just keep it at the back of your mind. Currently, with single client or lesser client pressure, this is a go-to approach. This is a good approach. Now come back to login servlet. Which is the method? Okay, let me continue. When the form is submitted, which method will be called? Which method your container will call? First, the service. Whose service method it will call? Which classes, which method? Service, public service method, but which classes, Prashant? Name the class. Is it a login servlet or is it a super class, HTTP servlet class? So HTTP servlet is a super class. So super classes, public service, which will delegate it to protected service, which will further dispatch it to do post, because as everyone knows, we have chosen the method equal to post. As I was answering Aman, if you change the method equal to get, or if you just don't mention the method at all, which method it will call? Of course, do get. And whatever you have done in the do post, you will be doing it in a do get. Clear completely? Okay, continue. So some parts now I'm not going to waste your time. Otherwise, I'll eat up your entire today's session. These parts are the same. Set the content type, get the print writer. This part also we have revised. So, reading the email and password, calling the DAO layer method, and DAO layer method will either return you null in case of invalid login, or in case of valid login, it will return you not null. So this branch is the same. We can't do much things. We can't do anything further in case of invalid login. So ignore. Now, what you should focus on this else branch. So now sit back and understand, or rather start answering. Which is the navigation technique we have used here to take the client from login page to topics page? Tell me. You got 405. You must have messed up in get versus post, Aman. Check. The form should, or if you have changed it, refresh the page from the browser. What happens, Aman, is, browser holds the cached page. So just refresh the page from the browser and error will be gone. Try this out. Yeah. So I was asking, which was this thing? What is it called? Yes, redirect client pool. So the moment you say client pool, how many requests will be sent from the client? Okay, let me rephrase. How are we going to navigate the client to topics page? In the same request after the form submission or in the next request? Same or next? Everyone says, everyone knows next. Now tell me, if there are multiple requests coming from the client, as in client pool, which is the minimum scope you will require to remember the client across multiple requests? Your choices are request scope or session scope. Did not understand? Wrong answer, Akshata. Oh, somebody answered wrong. I don't know. Request is the wrong answer. Session is the correct answer. I'll repeat the question. You have multiple requests coming from the client and you want to remember the client details or whatever, DAO details or whatever across multiple requests. So if you are answering request, the request scope will be over the moment request is sent and the response is rendered. But I want to remember it across multiple requests. So what consists of multiple requests and responses from the same user? A session. So keep it light, clear, and simple. Client pool, minimum scope required to add the attributes is the session scope. And today I started you on server pool, but when we continue to server pool, all the navigation will happen in a single request. So then what is the minimum scope required? Is it request or session? For server pool, I'm asking. In server pool, it is request. Client pool, session scope. Server pool, request scope. That way you keep it related. So coming back to the point, the moment I say session scope, the moment I say I want to add the details into session, what is the first step? You have to get the session. So tell me, is servlet going to create the session or is web container going to create it for us? Who creates the session, web container or programmer? Of course, web container. You are just requesting him to get the either new or existing session. So tell me, when you are calling it for the first time, this is just a current user. I mean, the first request, first time you are calling it, what will be the session, new or existing? 100% new. How do you know this? It's new, debugging. This is debugging. So you have seen it. This will be true. Now, the moment session object is created for a particular client, what else is also created along with HTTP session? A session ID. Okay, let me talk in numbers. Suppose you have 10 clients sending 5 requests each. Just some number. How many HTTP session objects would be created in the heap? 1, 5, 10 or 50? 10 clients sending 5 requests each. How many HTTP session objects would be created in the heap? 10 is the correct answer. How many times init method of a servlet will get called? Init or destroy? 1. How many times service style methods, do star methods? 50 times, 10 into 5. But how many HTTP session objects? 1 per client, of course 10. So naturally, how many session IDs would be floating around? How many session IDs would be created? Of course, 1 per session. Answer is 10. Got it? So this will be unique per client. Who is going to create it? P or WC? I mean, programmer or web container? Of course, a web container. All clear? Next one. Now we will make use of it. Tomorrow when I give you more details, I'll share more diagrams. You will see that HTTP session nothing but internally holds a map. I'll repeat the statement. HTTP session internally has a map. Map of what? Map of attributes. So if I tell you that HTTP session has an internal map, from this line, can anyone tell me what is the key and what is the value? Which key and which value? On line number whatever, 94. Give me the key. And yes, exactly. So here, key is nothing but attribute name and value is nothing but the user POJO reference. So in core Java, just a week ago, we used to write, suppose hash map hm.put k1 comma v1. Isn't it the same? Only thing is, your container is managing the map and everything for us. But it is nothing but a map-based structure. Next one. Are we adding only one entry in that HTTP session map or are we adding multiple entries? Okay, rephrase. How many entries are we adding in the session map? Our answer is 3. So which keys and values? You already told me. Key K1 V1, K2 V2 and K3 V3. Everyone clear? So you should visualize the session scope attribute map and there are 3 entries already explained. So our job is done. Validation is done. We have stored everything. Now is the time for navigation. Why page navigation? So that in one page, you don't have to add all the business logic and make the page brittle. Brittle means not maintainable, not manageable at all. Like how in React we have components-based framework, here we have web page-based framework. Okay, so coming back to the point, here this is your final what do you say, page navigation. It is nothing but a client pull. So who is involved? Client browser is involved or a client as a person is involved? When you say send redirect, who will be involved? Browser will be involved. And what happens is worth repeating all the time. The moment you say redirect, first thing container does is discards, empties, clears, all same, print writer buffer, body content empty. And start sending the response with status code 302, redirect response code, sets the location. Which location? This thing, what is it called? The location is topics because you have said here topics. I did not modify it. Good, we will get a chance. And of course, a header will be added, set cookie. But this was earlier. Anyone wants to tell me what will be the name of the cookie? Will it be user details? Will the cookie name be client details, user details? No. Yes, of course. You are very right. The name of the cookie, please correct because this was copied from earlier. Am I correct? Yeah. I was just checking. J session ID and the value you have seen such a whatever, I mean, huge hex value. This is generated by the web container using pseudo random generator, number generator. Okay, so this will be the cookie and this is toString is not there at all. Body contents are empty. Are you understanding? Yesterday we were managing the cookie, we were creating the cookie and adding it in the response header. Today who is doing all this cookie business? Web container. So if you think in code, it is like cookie C1 equal to new cookie, J session ID and some value. Then container will call response.add cookie and then the rest. So okay, so this reaches the web browser. Imagine that cookies are enabled. What will container, what will browser check? Age of the cookie. So what is the default age of this cookie? -1. Where will the cookie be stored? In the browser's cache, local memory of the browser. So whenever web browser sends a new request, this is all yesterday's thing. So you can change this to day 5, whatever is your URI /topics. HTTP method will be get because this is browser generated request and request header will get the cookie, of course, with the J session ID and this value. And then the next thing we did is we wrote a servlet with the map with the /topics URL pattern. So tell me, all the statements clear as far as login servlet is concerned? Step by step, everything is clear. So now, this is how we are navigating the client from login page to topics page in the next request. So now open topic servlet. You can close the earlier stuff and you can open the topic servlet. From this point, we started writing, almost like started. So this is all matching. Anytime you are getting 404, first thing you should check is whether you have done the mapping correctly. Okay, so anyway, today you are going to develop that admin flow. So all these things will be definitely required. Anyway, so now it is a redirect request. Redirect always has a get method. But why we did not override any init or destroy? You can see we never overrode. Only in one servlet I have overridden init and destroy. Why it wasn't overridden here? Because there was nothing which was required as a one-time initialization. There was no cleanup required. Already, yes. We have already got all the DAO instances in the init method. We have put it in the session scope and we have cleaned them up in the destroy method. So the code became drastically simpler, easier, lesser to manage. Okay. So initial 2 lines are the same. Now, as far as this page is concerned, I have modified, we have modified. We are just saying a hello and the username. So we wanted to get the user details and which DAO was required for developing this page. User DAO, topic DAO, or tutorial DAO? Topic DAO, right? So you can see this now. So again, the steps are same. But this time, this is the second request. This is the second time you are saying request.getSession. So which session object your container will return? New one, blank one, or the existing populated one? Of course, the existing populated one. Populated with how many attributes? How many key and a value pair? 3. You remember user details? Sorry, 4, I guess. 4 details. User details and those 3 DAOs. And you can always pick up whatever you want. So this will tell you, this will be definitely false. But if you disable the cookies, what will this return? If the cookies are disabled, what will you get all the time? All the time true. Because container does not get a JSession ID and it has to end up creating a new HTTP session object per request. So I told you, first enable the cookies and then test the web application. And of course, you will end up getting the same session ID for the same client. Please attach at least 2-3 clients, 2-3 different browsers or incognito or something and test it with multiple clients. Next. So what is happening in line number 42? Tell me. Already there are a lot of comments, but still it is good to go through. We are retrieving whose details? Client details from the session scope. When will you get these details as null? Cookies enabled or cookies disabled scenario? Cookies disabled scenario. So don't blindly do this. Otherwise, you'll start getting null pointers the moment you disable the cookie. So we check it. Then this is just a greeting to the user to indicate that we are remembering the client across multiple requests. And from here, actual work begins. So, we want to get all the topics and put it in a form, dynamically generated form. So this was the title. What is happening here? Which attribute we are getting from the session? Which DAO? Topic DAO. That is all was required. Which method are we calling? You can just say control click and you can see it in a minute. So the query was select star from topics. So all topics we are lifting, which is returning the list of topics. Control comes back. And then you are seeing is nothing but a form generation. So this is the irritating part in the entire discussion of servlet. And why it gets so complex after a while? Because you are mixing up which 2 different technologies together? HTML and Java. So HTML is great for presentation logic. Java is great for business logic. So you're mixing up presentation logic and business logic. There is no separation of concerns. So this is the first topic of Enterprise Java. So we are doing everything through the servlet. Wait for JSP, Java Bean and MVC architecture and model view controller, where you will see the full separation of concerns. So the page navigation, the overall control will keep it with the servlet. That's your controller. View layer we will display, we will take it using the JSP or later thime leaf. And the business logic we will separate in a component called a Java Bean. All that later. So now coming back to the point, this is your form action. As I was telling you, can I change this method from get to post? Simple question, simple answer. Of course, yes. But if I change the method to post, will I be able to see the query string such as topic ID and all? Will I be able to debug easily? No. Of course, if you are thinking, you will say, I'll go to my network tab. I'll see the request form data. 100%. Nobody stops you. But easier way is get. So I chose get. Anytime your testing is done, wherever you want to, hide the details, make it secure, change it to post. Now, so this is the form action which will be submitted to the next page. And the next page is nothing but our all tutorials page, tutorials belonging to a particular topic. Okay. Now, so this is the only thing. I don't know which topics. That is why we lifted it from the database. So take a look at this line for a minute. Have a look at it because this is the only thing which is important in the whole page. We are iterating over the loop and which type of a control we are having. Input type radio. And name can be anything, that name is just a static thing. But tell me, what is the value? When the particular radio button is selected, what is the value we are binding to it? The topic ID. Because finally, see this page requires the topic ID to find out which all tutorials belong to that topic. I'm just taking this time one-to-many also. One topic having multiple tutorials. And as a label, I want to keep the topic name. So what will be the label of the checkbox? Topic name. What will be the value which we are bound to the radio button is the topic ID. Is this loop clear to all of you? How we are generating those radio buttons? Is everyone clear completely? No confusion, not feeling lost? Because you are going to do something similar. I mean, control will be a select option list, but overall technique will be the same. Okay, this way. Now, sorry. So, but I need a submit button. I'm not using any JavaScript events on submit or on click or this. So a normal input type submit and closing the formatting tags and closing the form. In the else branch, if the session tracking is not working, I cannot access the DAO layer. I can't do anything. So else branch is nothing. And on every page, if user wants to log out anytime, user should have that facility. So a logout link. So I'll wait here for half a minute. Go through topic, go through topic servlet.java. If any line or if anyone wants to ask me that why you did it in this way, why not this way, please discuss. Or if you are clear, you tell me, we can go to the next page then. Go through the whole thing. I didn't understand. What are you saying? Will you explain for loop? For loop again. Okay. For loop. Yeah. So here, have you understood, Rohit, that we have got the list of all the topics. Which topics I'm talking about? This topics, which has topic ID and topic name. Topic Pojo list is there. So now what we are doing is we are simply iterating over the topics. And let me ask you, not you, anyone can answer, not only you, I mean. So can anyone tell me, if you say view page source, so I will talk in HTML now, okay? So for the first iteration, input type radio, name equal to topic ID. Anyone wants to tell me what will be the value? Anyone wants to tell me what will be the value assigned to that? 3. Very right. This is iterating. 3. Absolutely correct. I hope, Rohit, you are also understanding it. And what will be the topic? What will be the label you will get here? What is the label for 3? I forgot. JPA. Are you understanding? Okay. How about the second iteration? The topic ID will be given the value 2 and the topic label, the radio button ka label will be JSP. 1 servlets, 4 Spring Framework. So this is that dynamic form generation with these radio buttons. So I'm binding the topic ID as the value of the radio button and I'm assigning the topic name as the label of the radio button. Are you clear now? This one? Okay. Any more questions or can we go to the next page, which is mapped with /tutorials, map to rather /tutorials. Everyone fully clear? Okay. So now open. Yeah. Yes.
Hello, ma'am. Shubham. Ma'am, what sessions we have written in early DAO, that hs.session में ma'am पूर्ण सगळे सेशन्स इकडे येणार का मॅम त्याचे सेशन hs.session.
एक मिनट शुभम, wait. Are there multiple sessions associated with one client और एक client का एक session बनेगा, एक client के लिए एक session बनेगा? Tell me.
One per client.
Yeah. So one per client. So what sessions you are talking about? एक session. See, I had shown you a basic diagram. एक second diagram.
We have said
एक second. Hold on. So open the diagrams. J5 help का? नहीं. There's a whiteboard somewhere. Yeah, whiteboard HTTP session. Tomorrow I'm going to give you more details, but for today these are sufficient. So tell me, if I have got client 1 as logged in, Shubham, only one client. So how many sessions will you see in the heap? Not just Shubham, anyone can answer. एक client के लिए कितने sessions बनेंगे? एक. So I don't know why you are saying HTTP sessions and all that. That itself is wrong. And एक second now. So can you so this is your session ID, J session ID, and this is your HTTP session object. Now tell me guys, where do you think those attributes would be stored? Which attributes? वो एक user details था, client info था, और those DAO instances, DAO references and all. कहाँ पे बनेंगे? कहाँ पे रहेंगे? Tell me. Let me see. Within the HTTP session 1. Absolutely correct. Okay. So I'm going to show you more detailed picture tomorrow. For today, this is sufficient. So this HTTP session object internally stores a map. Map is what? The key and value pairs. So यहाँ पे वो attributes बनेंगे. This will store the attributes. So Shubham, are you understanding what I'm saying? Yes or no? Is the thing clear? Okay. So that is what. So don't say multiple sessions and all. Wrong statements, wrong understanding, confusion दिखा रहा है. एक session में एक session एक client के लिए बनेगा and that will have those DAO references stored in that session. That is the picture. Okay. So now move on to tutorials. So open the next page, tutorial servlet. Some of the things are repetitive. First thing you have to check is whatever is the form action, is it mapped correctly to the URL pattern? Answer is yes. Again, you don't need to override init or destroy because we have already done the job of DAO instantiation cleanup elsewhere. So directly come to get. Initial two things are the same. Now you have to keep the case study open to understand the flow. So anyone wants to tell me, when the client chooses a topic ID, let's say JPA. I'm just giving you an example. If the client chooses the topic JPA, which will be the topic ID, which will be sent in the next request, JPA I said. So this will be 3. Are you understanding? Okay, so if I choose, but I have not added anything, so I'm just choosing the last one. Spring Framework, topic ID 4. So now, if you want to retrieve that topic ID, where will you retrieve it from? From database, from request, or from session? Topic ID kahan se milega? Of course, from request. Don't say session. There's nothing like a topic ID in the session. Session mein kya pada hai? What is there in the session? DAO references and user details over. This is coming from the client side request. And how do you read anything from the client side request? Request.get parameter. If it was checkboxes, suppose I change my requirement and suppose I say, these are not the radio buttons, these are the checkboxes. So multiple selectable checkboxes. Then which method you would have used? Get parameter or get parameter values? You would have used get parameter values. But currently I'm saying that one topic and multiple tutorials. So likewise. But this method returns you string because it is HTTP. So here servlet has to do the parsing. I've already given you what. Okay, let me ask you. Suppose user doesn't choose any topic and clicks on the button. What will you get? What will happen? Exception or no exception? Of course, an exception. So are we looking for some blanks or nulls here? No. Currently, we are skipping the validations. You can always add the validation in a minute. How? Simply say here, do it in 2 lines. Request.get parameter topic ID. And there is a string utils. You can check whether the string is blank or null. And if it is, give the error message that you have to choose the topic ID first and make the user go back again. I mean, give a backlink and take user back to the page. Did you understand what I said? I said you can add the validation in a minute. Okay, 5 minutes. So you can check here before directly converting parsing. If it is blank, don't go ahead. Simply give an error message, if else condition error message, some red color or something. I mean, change the style, background color and all. I mean, font color, and say you must choose a topic first and give a backlink to go back to the original page. So currently I'm not doing that. Next one. In the down layer. So we don't have to do anything of this. Oh, there's a lag. Okay, I think the same time, 4:45. I'll repeat. I'll repeat. I know. Wait a second. So what I said is, this is the page we are building, which has to display the tutorials by a particular topic in a descending order of visits. So tell me, where have you taken care of this descending order? In the servlet or in the DAO layer? Ordering part where we have taken care in the DAO layer. So I don't know whether you have, I mean, you must have written it, I'm sure. So if you see the DAO layer, tutorial DAO implementation here, select name from tutorials because we are lifting only the tutorial titles and order by visits in the descending order. So guys, we have already taken care in the DAO. You don't have to worry. The list of topics which you are going to get, I'm so sorry, list of tutorial names are already sorted as per the descending order. Okay, continue. So I got the topic ID. This is the title, that this is the topic ID whose tutorials I'm publishing. What is the reason? What is it we are lifting from the session here? I mean, why did I get the session? What is the information I'm getting from the session? A DAO instance. Which DAO? No. DAO instance. Which DAO I'm requiring? Tutorial DAO. Because otherwise, how will I fire the query? So this time, which is the query we are firing? You remember topic ID is the foreign key in the tutorials table. So we are supplying the foreign key and getting, are we getting all the tutorial details or only the tutorial names? All details or names. And why so? Because I already explained you long back. There can be huge data for tutorial, per tutorial, as in contents. A long contents can be there, which includes images and all that. So not worth lifting. Let client pick up a particular tutorial and then we can display the detail. The required data only, we are lifting it from the database. Now again the loop. So in this case, is there any form generation required or only links? Only the links. I am just changing the view for your this. So all I'm generating is we are iterating over the selected tutorial names by a particular topic ID, and rest of the things you know. So this link I want to submit to the next page. What is the URL pattern of the next page? Tutorial details. But if I don't supply this request parameter, what will happen? You will definitely take the client to this page, but what is it you will not supply, or what is it this page will not get is, yes please, the tutorial ID. And I won't know, I as a programmer or I as a servlet developer, I won't know whose details to print. Is everyone clear? So that is why we have added the tutorial name. And if you check my table structure, I've taken certain this. So if you say describe tutorials, so as you can see, the tutorial name is unique. Okay, so tutorial title is unique. If it was not unique, I would have to go by the tutorial ID. But I have made tutorial name unique just to make it convenient. Is everyone clear? So tutorial name itself is a key, or is sufficient. So now let me ask you the question again. If user clicks on, let's say, okay, if user clicks on this tutorial name, Spring Core, can anyone tell me what will be the URI? What will be the this thing, request URI? What will be the URI of the next page? So start with /day5cms. Anyway, you are typing. I'll give you time. You understood? Suppose I added user clicked on Spring Core. What it will be? Answer that. Everything is all about request and responses. You know that. You understood the question, right? /tutorial details. There's a question mark. Yes. Question mark tut_name is equal to Spring MVC. I'm so sorry, Spring Core, I mean. Okay. So this is what is the job of this for each loop. So this finishes this page. Everyone clear so far about what was that? What is the name? Tutorial servlet. Yes, is equal to Spring Core. Correct. All answers are right. Okay, so now let us go to the next page, which is mapped to this URL pattern of tutorial details. I've kept the names similar, so you won't have any problem. Even if you look at it 10 days later, you'll still figure it out. So, which is the next page, tutorial details servlet. And for every such thing, I have given you the sample URL, which I will copy in that discussion after that. I mean, I want to give you this updated one. So I started writing, but I stopped somewhere. So I'll make it complete and I'll share it with you. Going ahead. So this looks matching proper. Start solving the page. So when user clicks on any of the links, Spring Core, Spring MVC, whatever, Spring Boot, the control comes here. The request gets you here. Initially, all the same. So which is that request parameter? What is that request parameter which your tutorial details page will get? Which is that incoming request parameter you will get? Tutorial ID or tutorial name? Tutorial name. Clear? Okay. Go ahead with that understanding. Is the what is the data type of tutorial name? Int or varchar? I mean, in the database, int. I'm so sorry, varchar. Varchar maps to string. So is there any parsing required? No. In your Pojo, tutorial name is a string. So no parsing here. Why I'm using session? What is it I'm lifting from the database is the tutorial DAO instance. So of course I have everything is in the session, so it becomes easy. Now, who is calling whose method? Your which servlet? Tutorial detail servlet is calling this method. Control click. What is the query we are having here? Simple query. Select star from tutorials where tutorial name is equal to question mark. So that returns you the ORM, object to relational mapping. So here we are getting all these tutorial details from the result set, putting it in the tutorial and returning it to the caller. Understood the DAO part, which I have said? Not here. Sorry. The tutorial details part. Is everyone clear? What is it we have got? I'll ask you again. I mean, as an example, suppose the tutorial chosen was Spring Core. Which row will be selected? The first row, second row, or third row? First row will be selected. And this data, each row corresponds to what? You remember ORM. Table corresponds to Pojo. So tutorials table corresponds to tutorial Pojo. The table columns correspond to Pojo properties. And the row or the record corresponds to what? The Pojo instance, Pojo class instance, which is nothing but tutorial class instance that this object to relational mapping in this week we are doing. So JDBC doesn't do it automatically. We have to slog rst.getString getDouble, wait for Hibernate. Hibernate being the ORM tool, it will do it automatically for us. Just keeping your interest there. That is all. So we got it. Now, but the moment you have visited, your visit count should increment. So which is the method in which we have updated the visit count? Where is that? The update visits, control click. And here that you can see it's a easy one. Update tutorial set visits to whatever ID chosen. There's a bug here, we'll fix it. So this is done. And then once you have updated all of this, what is it we are doing? Nothing but the view layer presentation logic. I mean, we're just displaying. So we are getting the tutorial name, author details, publish date, visits, and the contents, and sending this to the client. And in addition to that, now see, I'm just following our page flow. A user might want to say back. Here also, by the way, you can give a backlink, which I have not given, and you can take it back to here. I mean, you can add the links anytime. So coming back to the point, this is to take the client back to the topic. This is for the logging out. So look at the backlink first. So here is the backlink. So here, this part is static. When you say back, we want to take the client to the earlier page, that whatever tutorials page. But which is the request parameter we are adding here? Is it a topic ID or is it a tutorial ID? You can see it as a topic ID. And why we are doing that? Because when you say back, when you go to this page, read it. I mean, don't do anything memory based. So where is that page? Tutorials page. A second. So tutorial servlet. First thing you are going to do is the same code is executed now. So if you have forgotten, if you have not added any request parameter, this will be null and you will start getting a null pointer exception. Are we understanding why we added that topic ID as the link in the link request parameter? I mean, in the additional parameter. So that was the explanation. So tutorial details. So backlink. So we are getting that topic ID and sending it back. And logout link, we don't require any request parameters. So it is a simple logout link with a hypertext. So spend a minute here. And first thing is tell me whether you understood it. And second thing is, can you fix the bug? Do you remember the bug? Okay, first things first. Have you understood the whole page? Oh, page is clear? Okay. And now tell me why there was a bug. You remember? Every time there was a lag of 1. Where our visit counter was not getting reflected correctly in the view layer. So what was it? Why there was a bug? You understood? You remember, right? There was not, things were not working. There was a offset of 1 always. Yes, anyone? Oh, somebody saying, Prashant is saying fixed. Yes, please. Tell me. Are you understanding what I'm talking about?
Yes, ma'am. For
Yeah, so,
the tutorials
yes.
reference which we are using, that is not updated.
So this, okay. And
after that, we are applying the update, but
right.
that update is not updating on that tutorial repo.
Exactly.
So
Absolutely.
for that, we have to call again that
Ek second, Prashant. Hold on. Let us make sure that everyone understood it. So we are working with the stale state, guys. Are you understanding? See, you have lifted the tutorial details like he said correctly, and uske baad you have updated the details. So this particular object which you are displaying, this state, is it the fresh state or is it an old state, stale state or a fresh state? Everyone understands? It's an old state. Yeah. Now tell us your fix. This one, Prashant. You are suggesting a fix. Yes, please.
We have to call again DAO tutorial after the updating name line number 40.
Yeah, I understood your this, but I have a better suggestion. So let me see. So as far as I understood, Prashant, what he's saying is call this method once again, right? And then it will get updated. Agreed. But does anyone have, see, call,
hello.
Ek second. Let me just sync up with everyone. So I'm agreeing that this is a working solution, but I'm not too happy with it because I'm calling this same method twice. Yeah. Now suggest a better solution.
Ma'am,
Yes.
in line number 45, I have printed get visit +1.
That is a hack. That I won't accept it as a good solution because you are just creating a hack. Again, it is a working solution, but I don't want a hack. I want database, the state of the database and the view layer properly consistent. So I'm not unfortunately accepting it. Tutorial not equal to null. Okay. So, I mean, guys, I'm not at all rejecting your solutions. They are all working, but not up to the mark. So here is the suggestion you are going to implement. I'm not going to this thing at all. So I don't like this. Here, can you think little bit, एक second. Yeah. Can you think little bit out of a box where the state of the database and state of the object will match? So here is the set. Yeah. Anyway, yes, somebody.
Tutorial.setVisit. Is it a
tutorial.setVisit, but yes, again, like somebody earlier said, it is a hack. I want when you read the data, okay, let me make it clear. When you read the data from this, it should be already updated. It should be refreshed data. If tutorial is not equal to null, visit. No, visit is, I don't know which visit method you are calling. First of all, Girish, I'm unable to answer you. I understand you. So I would have said,
after if it is not null, then visit and update the code. I was saying like that.
No, null checking and all is not required. Again, little bit off track. So it would be better to call this method first, isn't it? First call update and then get the tutorial details. I'm slowly explaining. If you have a better suggestion, definitely debate. So first update and then read. Okay. But the problem in that is, here, what is your update visits requiring? A tutorial ID. Are you getting it? And tutorial ID is not what you have. You have got a tutorial name. So what will be a clear-cut solution? I mean, one of the things which I could think of would have been here, slightly modify the DAO. Is my suggestion. You can, of course, debate. You can do the way you like. So where are we? I tutorial DAO. So if I slightly change, this by, yes, what can I change this by? The tutorial name. So if consistently, if I do it on tutorial name, see how it will be. You will do it. You'll do it in 10 minutes or 5 minutes. I don't know. So if you do that, so then you can easily call. Somebody was suggesting call update visits from get tutorial details. Fine, whatever solution. So now I can swap because I don't require any tutorial ID. So first I'll update and then you can call the get tutorial details is one of the suggestions. Understood my suggestion? Just by making a small change in the DAO layer, you can make it so that there is no hack like +1 and check null or not null, nothing, all clean code. Okay, so fix it accordingly. I mean, I'm giving you, of course, the whole later lab session is for you to try. So this was one of the suggestions. So I think I have done it in the normal one. Get and update. Yeah, you can fix it. So, okay, the last page we have to discuss is the logout page, and we are done with the revision. So open logout page, please. A simplest page. So initial things are the same. Setting content type, getting the writer. Here, I wanted to get the client details. So I've got it from the HTTP session as always. Checking from null value, giving the user, confirming whether we are remembering the user or not accordingly, giving a message you have logged out, else case, session tracking failure, and most important line in the entire code is discarding the session. So if you suppose forget it, will web container discard the HTTP session object on the container heap, or will it continue with the old session? Answer is it will not discard. It will continue with the existing session. And we don't want to remember the client with the earlier session. If the same client wants to log in again, wants to continue, he or she has to log in again. So if you see, I'll just open that whiteboard. When you write session.invalidate, okay, let me ask you, let me say this properly. So suppose there is a logout servlet here, and client 2 has clicked on the logout link. I'll repeat my inputs. There are 3 clients connected to my website, and this is your logout page, and client 2 has clicked on the link, log me out. So can you tell me, easy question, which session object will be marked for garbage collection? HS1, HS2, HS3, all of above, none of above? More answers I want, not only one answer. Of course, HS2. Are you getting this? So only the HTTP session corresponding to client 2 is let's say HS2. So this entry, this particular details consisting of HTTP session object and its JSession ID will be gone. So that if the same client wants to access our website again, user will have to go to that login form, login page, and continue the remaining flow all over. Understood what I said? Understood what will happen when you say session.invalidate? That HTTP session object on the server side heap is gone, is marked for garbage collection, no longer available. So even when the same client browser, without deleting that JSession ID, sends you that, it is not useful at all. Web container will create a brand new session object and start with the session tracking all over. So this was your entire case study revised. Understood completely? I mean, are you having any more questions? Otherwise, we will discuss the admin flow. Yes, anyone having particular question, please ask. Otherwise, we'll go ahead with the next flow.
मॅम
Yes.
मॅम तुम्ही आता म्हणालात की इनव्हॅलिडेट नाही केलं तर काय होईल? डिस्कार्ड नाही केलं तर?
Right.
तर ते नक्की काय होईल म्हणजे?
The same session ID will continue. See here, आता नाहीये माझ्याकडे, पण anyway, so okay, here हे logout page मध्ये आता logout, see, once you say logout, the session is all discarded. So but if you don't call invalidate, what will be the value of the JSession ID? Will it be the same for the same client, I mean for the next client, or will it differ? It will be the same.
Same, right?
So suppose, let me take names. Suppose Kiran had logged in and continued without login, without discarding invalidation. Whatever details. This is not a perfect example, but take an example of a, let's say, shopping cart. So shopping cart, I'll be able to explain your question better. So let me open the other case study. This case study is not a very good, I can't give you a very satisfactory answer. So let me open that other case study, bookshop case study. One second. Because then I can answer your question properly. Online shop case study. So here, you can look at the rest of the flow later. So this is your typical online shopping. User logs in. We show the user. I'm trying to answer your question. A category. Suppose user, this is a bookshop. So user chooses Java as a category, maybe. Showing all the books under the category. Checkbox, dynamically generation form. Here, user says, I want to purchase, I want to add these 2 books to the cart. So books added in the cart. Redirecting client to the category page again, where user can shop from other categories such as .NET, your React or JS or whatever. At the end, user says, okay, I'm done shopping. I want to check out payment, right? So here, checkout servlet. Here you are displaying all the cart contains all the bill. Here there's no payment gateway. So we are saying like, what do you say? I mean, simulating the transaction. There's no bank transaction actually happening here. So here you say, books are delivered to your books will be delivered to you. You have successful logout message. Forget this. Think of a visit again. So now, Kunal, in this case, this is like a logout is equal to checkout page. Now, if you don't do the session invalidation, if you don't do session.invalidate and same user logs in again, when he or she logs in again, will their cart be empty or will their cart be populated?
Populated असणार ma'am.
Are you understanding now the point?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
you are not clearing the earlier details, whatever happened in earlier session at all, and it is all wrong because the entire cart has been checked out. So how can you keep the same cart showing the wrong details to the input? Nobody will use your website. Okay, but like I mentioned, in my current case study, which is our content management system, all you will see is user details are not gone anywhere. The DAO instances are not gone anywhere. So you'll continue with the flow. Not much of the harm done. But in the bookshop, I mean, in the cart or e-shopping kind of a thing, this can cause a havoc. So 100% of the time, whenever you are doing checkout, logout or something, discard the session. So the next time user will have to log in again and continue here onwards. Understood, guys?
येस मॅम. मॅम आता जर किरणनी केलं असेल आणि त्याच्यानंतर रमानी केलं, पण किरणच्या ह्याच्यामध्ये आपण म्हणजे कोणामध्येच नाही दिलेलं आहे. म्हणजे आपण सेशन
डिटेल्स रमामध्ये दिसतील म्हणजे हॅकिंग पण झालं. कळतंय का?
येस येस.
Okay, so you'll be able to, that is a confidentiality breach also, security hole. So never ever do that.
Yes. Got it. Thank you, ma'am.
Sure. Okay, so are we ready to discuss the admin flow or you need more time? You want to go ahead with the discussion of admin flow? Okay, so let's get started. Some of you might have already started. I really don't know. So first, spend a minute on reading this role-based authorization. Take a look at it. Published date. Okay, fine. Like I said, some of the things like JSP and this, ignore because we are not reached there. Anyway, you take a look at the flow. We'll start discussing. You tell me when you have looked at the admin flow. I'll start talking to you. We'll discuss it, and then I'll leave the whatever time remaining time for you to try. Or if you want, we can always do parallelly. Whatever. Better will be you first try on your own. You let me know when you have looked at it. You are telling me when you have studied the flow on your own, okay? Can I start? Can we start the discussion? Okay. So, you are going to make a copy of that day 5, whatever CMS, into a day 5 lab or something, and continue with the flow that way. First, fix that bug, which I suggested. I mean, any solution, whatever you like, that visit counter, and then continue. So let me start asking you in a manner. I have already decided I will not code along, because if I code along, it is like, I'm supplying the ready-made solution. You give it a try. Let me see how much you can try. And later, if any time required, maybe tomorrow, I can always take this up that way. So start. If you want to add the admin flow also, change or no change. I'm verbally solving it. Don't worry. For the login form, no change, obviously. Next page, login servlet, change or no change. That way we are going to discuss. Login servlet, change or no change. So of course there will be change. So please open. You can stop the server. I don't know whether my server, my server is stopped. So open, say Control-Shift-W. This is the future. This is what you are going to develop. One flow we develop, other flow you develop kinds. So here, start answering. Init and destroy, change or no change. Yes, we have to check the role. Absolutely, no change. So come to the this thing. What is it called? Do post. If branch till I'll highlight. Still no change. Got me? Okay. Now you go microscopically. Microscopically means line by line. You decide, because you're going to develop it in the next 5-10 minutes. Change or no change. Either branches. Now the extension of the case study. Change or no change. No change. Because you still require all these things. Okay. Now here, are you going to blindly redirect it to the topics, or are you going to do the role-based checking? No. Understood that? Okay. So tell me, before this, what will you check? You will check the role. Tell me, how will you check the role? How will you check the role? You have a user, guys. No, not through database. Hello, we have lifted the user details already from the database. So, user Pojo, control click. You have a role here already lifted from the database. So what will be the code like? Anyone wants to talk in code? Which method you will call? Exactly. You're very right, Prashant. So user.getRole equals admin. You know we have 2 roles here. Which 2 roles? I think, yeah, either admin or a customer. So listen to this. Am I showing you a Spring security architecture here? Absolutely not. That will be our last topic. J2E. So we have to do a lot of work for role-based authorization, authentication. Wait for Spring security framework to be discussed, and you will see this will happen automatically. Okay. Till then, you have to slog. So coming back to the point, yes, if user.getRole equals admin, where do you want to redirect the user? Here, already said this. So here you redirect the user to let's say admin page. Okay, so you can choose, and now I have already prepared you sufficiently. So here you can okay, let me just have a second thought. Yeah, so here you send him to this common admin page, because here I have given the facility to add the tutorial. So here slight change. Let me just think what you can manage. Yeah, so take me to admin page servlet, and instead of redirect, give a link to add the new tutorial. Or see, the flow is now flexible. I just want to see 2 flows. So I'll give you 2 options. The one option which I have drawn, in case of successful admin login, directly redirect him to the show new tutorial form. Or if you want to take a step in between, you can take him to admin page where you say admin login is successful and give a link to add the new tutorial. Any option I'm okay with. Understood both the options? You are free to exercise whatever flow you like. Okay, so has everyone understood here? So redirect either to admin or to that a topics page. Topics page we have already done. So the changes in the login servlet are clear? Clear to everyone? Okay. Now observe this one. Okay. So here. So this page, will it be an HTML or will it be a servlet? Answer is unfortunately in front of you. Will you develop that page as a servlet or HTML? Some of you are saying servlet. I'm so sorry. Most of you are saying servlet because maybe I have written servlet. I'll say I don't like servlet, I like HTML. So if I do that HTML, what is wrong in that? Yes, please. HTML is static. So which part I won't be able to generate? We proper, yeah, dynamic part, but which portion of this form is dynamic, Prashant? That is my question. Date is dynamic. No, publish date, I'm going to enter input type date. Which part is dynamic? The topic part is dynamic. Guys, you have to be cautious. In the J2E lab exam, you will be given a web application, a flow, and that you will be designing. Okay, so the point is, all my topics are here in the database. So how can I get that information in HTML? Impossible. So this particular input type, the drop-down list, forces us to write it in the servlet. Understood my statements? So it is not an ordinary HTML. Again, you'll have to do the dynamic form generation through this. Now, so I've already given, these are what? What is this form for? Adding a new tutorial. So I want a drop-down list. Which input, which HTML input type you'll use? Select option. Everyone understands select option list. Only effort will be, you will have to generate it from pw.print. I mean, dynamic form generation, which is horrible, which is a hassle, but till JSP, you don't have a choice. Okay. So here, again, you will require the DAO, get all, what was that? Get all topic names or something, and you will populate the drop-down list with that. So user means admin user can only choose the topic. Here, I'm not giving a link to add the new topic. I have got something like 4 or 5 topics in here. So admin can only add a tutorial under the topic. Understanding or confused? Okay, great. Now, so rest of the inputs you are taking from client. Client as an administrator. So tutorial name, tutorial author, the date of publishing, and the contents. Keep the contents simple. Testing or this, whatever I mean. Okay. So everyone understands it. This is your dynamic form generation done by the this fellow. What is it? Done by the servlet. And you'll have an input type submit button, which will, when user clicks it, add tutorial. I mean, the form will be submitted to the next page. So this is your show form page, show tutorial add form. This is your process form servlet. So I'll wait here for a minute. Can you think in a code? Can you visualize it in a code? You tell me honestly. Will you at least try? Do you feel up to trying? Okay, somewhat. So after spending so much time in the servlet, I should get a little better confidence. Anyway, you give it a try. See guys, I have already shown you the form generation and all that. Here the type was radio button. Here the type is going to be what? Select option. That's it. Okay, so try it out. Now, when the form is submitted, are we doing any validations or are we blindly going to insert a tutorial record in the database? There are validations. You got me? So, which validations? Simple validations I have given. So the content, I cannot have just a dummy validations. Who cares about the contents? But let's give something. So the length of the contents should be less than 255 characters. And the publish date, I don't want to publish old tutorials. So this publish date, whatever user is giving, cannot be older than the 6 months. So anyone wants to tell me, apply your core Java now. So tell me, this thing, how will you perform this validation? You'll be validating in the servlet now. Yes, please. Which method? Easy one. First one is easy. Feeling lost? Length method, of course. So this is your text area. Request.get parameter. Everything will be read as request.get parameter. So length, string length less than 255. Done. Anyone wants to tell me? We have done similar things earlier in core Java. So how will you check whether it is 6 months or not? You remember anything? Yes, absolutely right, Aman. You remember we have talked about java.time.period. We were computing age or something. So that period between the current date and the published date should be what? And dot get months should be, if it is more than 6 months, will you continue or will you send the user back with the validation error? Answer is you will send him back. Yes or no? Is before won't help you. Period is the correct answer. Okay, so manage that. So I'll just help you. Input type date you will choose from the HTML. Once you get that input type date, here you will get the date in the string form. And now tell me, what is that parsing? You'll have to do the parsing from string, and I want to find the period. So will you parse it to, I'm giving you choices, string to java.util.date, java.sql.date, or this thing, java.time.local date. For finding out the period, what will you parse it into? No clue? Of course, local date. Guys, are you remembering? In the period class, there is a method period.between. The start date and the end date, same logic you are using. So it will be good if you do that. And in case of validation error, bring user back to the form. You can give a message, you can give a link, invalid inputs, back to the form. Or you can do the redirection, and you can use sendRedirect also and give an error message. All those details I'm leaving it to you. Okay, now if there are no validation errors, is it all right to insert the details? Of course, yes. So you will be inserting the details fine. So all details are fine. But guys, now you have a small problem. It's not a problem. It's a one-to-many. It's an interesting challenge. So if you see tutorials, can you tell me, this will be a new thing in the DAO layer also, okay, by the way. So coming back to the point, tutorial ID, will you take it from user or will it be, what is it called, system generated, database generated? Auto increment, perfect. These fields coming from the user from the form or auto generated or whatever, coming from the user. Understanding this? So that is all easy, that is all good. What about the topic ID? So see, these are the things which make the exercise easy. I mean interesting. Are we selecting any topic ID from anywhere? We are not. So tell me, how will you get that? So are you understanding? I'm just drawing your attention to the interesting part of the assignment. So yes, please. How will you get that topic ID? You remember? You'll have to, yes, exactly. So you will have to find the topic ID by the topic name. So all those things you'll have to add it in the DAO layer, which do not exist. But you have the topic name coming up. And I've made your life easier by making the topic name. Topic name what? Topic name or tutorial name? Just a second. Have I got confused? No, topic name. I've given the topic name, and topic name is matching with the topic. I mean, you have one-to-one correspondence there. So can you give me the query for, yeah, finding the topic ID by topic name? Write it so I'll get convinced. User has selected the topic name. I just need the topic ID for its foreign key insertion. Yes, please. I'm just confirming your database clarity. Simple query it is. You understood my question, right? Select ID from topics where name equal to this. Absolutely. So you have to, before you jump into coding, you have to take care of all the things. I'll repeat my last few statements. Here, name, author, date, contents are coming from client. Tutorial ID, auto incremented, default generated. There was an issue of a foreign key. So you'll have to get that and you'll have to manage it properly in the DAO layer. So do that with proper foreign key set. I've given all the clues. And after that, currently we are just adding a new tutorial, nothing else. So in case of a success, you can redirect the admin to the logout page, or you can give a link saying that, okay, tutorial details added, and log me out. And we have already developed in the today's first half this logout page. So you can take the admin user there. I mean, you can have a common logout page between admin and a customer. Forget that JSP and all that. Forget status message and forget all this. I mean, this was a different training, different requirement. So logout servlet you already have, and I should see that hello followed by admin usernames. You have logged out, visit again. So are you there are some what do you say, more details also, but at least overall discussion is clear or not. Okay, so of course you are going to find some problems. Everything is not discussed, and I mean, if I start discussing everything, then there is no fun. I mean, I'm not allowing you to think on your own. So get into it is option 1. Option 2 is, if you don't want to get here, you can of course try writing this try everything from scratch. And even if you try to manage this customer case study on your own, customer part of the case study, I'm okay. So this is from my side. Give it a try. And wherever you get stuck, you can always take any of our help. So continue with it. I'm still here for another whatever time. You can always try. Yes, go ahead. If you have any specific question before you want to start and all that, ask. I'm all here. Anytime you want to share screen, show me errors, show me problems, I'm here to help. Continue, guys. Focus on the assignment. I'm not disturbing you for the rest of the time unless until you have a query. Guys, why don't you focus on the assignment and help each other in the other manner, better manner than this? Okay, continue with the work. I gave you the easy way out always. You can definitely develop this flow on your own without consulting whatever we have done, because that will be an easy step. And then you can go for the harder step, maybe over a weekend. Okay, so I have given the full description of the flow, and I hope you have already started working on the admin flow. Like I said, anywhere you get stuck, you tell me. Try working on it at least. I don't want to disturb you, but again, see, from your reactions, I was not very convinced that you're finding it. If you are finding this very hard, you can always go to the, what do you say, easier path. I don't know whether you are listening. I'm just talking to you in case, you see, if you can manage it the way I have discussed, very good. Okay, but in case you find that okay, there are too many things and I don't even feel like starting because what she said is totally like bouncer. Suppose I'll I can you can go level by level. You don't have to reach the highest level for the first day. So I will make your life easier by saying forget about this dynamic part. Okay, still give me the servlet because later I want to make it dynamic, but I'm allowing you. I mean, if you can't take that second step, second jump or whatever, leave first, you have the input type topic as a simple input type text and let administrator type in the topic name. Are you understanding what I simplified for you? Got it or not? Select option list, which involves talking to the user down layer. I simplified it to input type text and just make sure that you are selecting it from the chosen topic. But if you say no, that becomes too static, too plain, too draft for me, you can go for this. So likewise, you can definitely decide to take shortcuts in the version. You can keep maintaining the versions and finally you can reach the ultimate version. So that is also one suggestion. Whatever easy things I think of, I'll always share. So continue accordingly. Again, sorry for interruption. You are, I know you are you have started into admin flow, so continue. But either towards the end of the lab or sometime, sometime before you meet me, please compare day 5.1 and day 5.2 and just, read that readme page navigation, client pull versus server pull. So that tomorrow when I discuss the server pull technique, request dispatcher forward, you will have an idea about what it is. So just a quick reminder, definitely try this. This is like a more like a, revision exercise kind of a thing. So I'm sending you the updated instructions. You could be deep inside whatever you are doing. So here, the detailed steps I've just written to modify the login servlet. You first of all, you make a copy, of course, in day 5 lab or something. And this role-based authorization, I feel will be easy. In show form servlet, I've given you the questions, food for thought. Are you going to need HTTP session? If yes, what is it you are going to lift from the session scope? Will you need to call any DAOs method, etc.? Open that case study and continue to dynamic form generation. Of course, it will be dynamic only if you go for that select option list. Otherwise, it will be like an ordinary form. Prepare the form along with the submit button and test till this page. So I don't know, I hope it will be helpful. And I've also completed the earlier one. So let me send it to you. See if it helps you. Just a second, I'm in the middle of sending something. Wait. Yeah, tell me what. Oh. Yes, what were you saying?
Do we have to create a separate tutorial HTML file page or dynamically?
No. Actually, you can, but since HTML cannot have any dynamic part, if you go for select option list, this thing I have shown you. How do you do the dynamic form generation? We have already done that. This one, who is it? Prashant, I guess. Here, I've given you the example here. Nothing
Topic
is new.
form. Just like form.
Topics servlet I wanted to open. The dynamic form generation. So very same thing here, isn't it? Only this form had the input type radio. You will have input type text and all that along with the select option list.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Somebody's sending me the error. Kunal, you'll have to share the screen. Yeah, okay. Don't share the screen. I can find out from remote. Here, data truncation. That means you have mismatched the sequence. So check whether your rst.get, those, column numbers are wrong. So try to solve it on your own. If you cannot, then I can help you. I'm giving you the clue. The error is not in the servlet. Error is in the DAO layer. Somewhere that rst.get column numbers are mismatched. So see this, read the thing, double value and Spring Boot. So Spring Boot is actually the name of the tutorial topic. I'm sorry, tutorial name. And somewhere you are reading it as a double.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, Kunal?
Ma'am, can I share screen?
Yeah, of course. सेम प्रॉब्लेम आहे का तू म्हणत होतास तसंच नाही सापडला
हो
अजून
मॅम,
तर
नाही सापडलं मला.
ओके
सकाळी नीट रन होत होता. आता मी तिथे फक्त आयडीच्या ऐवजी स्ट्रिंग म्हणजे स्ट्रिंग टाकली ना अपडेट ह्याच्यामध्ये.
हा तू काय
त्यानंतर
चेंज
हा
केला
प्रॉब्लेम.
टाक सांग मला म्हणजे मग मी लगेच बघीन मला
Yes,
दाखव
ma'am.
तुझं डाउनलोड
हे
तुझं
चेंज
ट्युटोरियल
केलं इथे.
ठीक आहे मला इम्प्लिमेंटेशन क्लास दाखव
मग हे चेंज इथे चेंज केलं.
मला ती क्वेरी दाखव PST2 मध्ये काय क्वेरी आहे ते दाखव नाही PST2 मध्ये नाही PST3 मधली क्वेरी दाखव वरती कन्स्ट्रक्टर
ma'am.
दाखव ना PST3 मध्ये
ओके,
अपडेट
हा
ट्युटोरियल
सॉरी.
तिथे राहिलं ना ते म्हटलं ना तुला फक्त तिथे डावल बघायचा होता करून बघ रन आता सेव्ह कर सेव्ह ऑल
येस मॅम, वर्किंग मॅम.
वरतो
हेच
येते
नव्हतं.
ओके कंटिन्यू
Yes.
ते तेवढंच
Thank you,
फक्त
ma'am.
चुकलं होतं शुअर
Yes.
हेलो मैम।
या चल मी संदीप
मैं एक इशू पेश कर रहा हूँ।
हाँ बोलो
स्क्रीन शेयर करो क्या?
हाँ करो ना
मैम मैं जब रन कर रहा हूँ
हम्म
मैम मेरा ऑथेंटिकेट में ही रह रहा है एंड आगे इसमें नहीं जा रहा है।
हाँ तो नहीं एक्सेप्शन होगा ना कंसोल पे देखो कंसोल पे सब आंसर्स
Yes, ma'am.
रहते हैं ओपन द कंसोल डबल क्लिक ऑन दैट देयर इज अ एक्सेप्शन ना इसका डबल क्लिक करो उस पे हाँ इलीगल आर्ग्यूमेंट हाँ तो संदीप यू हैव नॉट टेकन माय टॉम कैट you have
Yes,
done
ma'am.
that is why so there is a problem with the original tomcat that is why I always give a pre-configure so एक second I know this is known problem because you have not taken my tomcat 9.0 आपने you have done it on your own right so
Ma'am, it is Tomcat 9.
no but I have
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
pre-configured some things and removed the bugs so that bug is still there in your tomcat because you don't know how you did not know about the bugs so I'm giving you the solution
Sure.
ठीक है so एक काम करो I'll give the instructions I'll tell you day1 help J2E data day1 help खोलो web server
Yes, ma'am.
help yeah help हाँ day1 data में होगा just I'm not sure we'll check day1 help वहां पे एक सेकंड नहीं day1 help में नहीं है सॉरी होगा वेब प्रोग्रामिंग प्री रिक्विजिट्स में देखना यहाँ पे नहीं, उसी में उसके नीचे हेलो हाँ वेब
Yes,
प्रोग्रामिंग
ma'am.
प्री रिक्विजिट्स कॉन्फिग फाइल्स खोलो वहाँ पे context.xml होगी. Yeah. So open that. You can open it with our this thing code. खोलो.
Okay. Sure, ma'am.
You can open it with VS Code. And वहां से एक लाइन है, लाइन नंबर 30 कॉपी करो. Control-C, Control-V. Yeah. Now go to your STS. Stop the server. सर्वर्स पे टैप करके, नहीं वहां से नहीं, सर्वर्स टैप पे क्लिक करके, हाँ वहां पे अभी. नाउ स्टॉप द सर्वर. ओके नाउ,
Yes.
हाँ हो गया. नाउ कम टू द लेफ्ट हैंड साइड, प्रोजेक्ट एक्सप्लोरर में सर्वर्स टैप पे जाओ. यू आर देयर, जस्ट कम डाउन. हाँ वहीं पे नीचे सर्वर्स टैब होगा ना, सर्वर्स, हाँ सर्वर्स प्रोजेक्ट होगा, व्हाटएवर. या एक्सपांड दैट. वहां पे context.xml मिलेगी. या थर्ड वन, context.xml. या ओपन दैट. ओके सो लाइन नंबर 28 के नीचे Control-V पेस्ट इट. और लाइन नंबर 26 वो अनकमेंट कर दो. 26 हियर माय इंस्ट्रक्शन. हाँ 26 का हटाओ कमेंट, निकालो. दैट कमेंट इज ना, सो रिमूव दैट. एंड 28 की भी निकालो, अनकमेंट दैट लाइन इन शॉर्ट. या सेव इट.
Yes, sir.
So what we are doing is we are changing. See, Tomcat 9.0 onwards, they have changed the cookie processor. So I'm replacing the one which has a bug with the earlier legacy cookie processor. You saved it. Now run the
Yes, sir.
application again and check whether you are still suffering. वो day 4 वाला जो पहले वाला था. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Now it's working.
So, yeah. So the problem is not in the code at all. That is the way the cookie processors are being used in this. So these are all the things I have already pre-configured and given in the Tomcat. Now we can
Sure.
continue.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Sure.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, Aniket, tell me.
Can I share my screen?
Yeah, of course.
Ma'am, I am getting null pointer exception.
दिखाओ, double click on console because we can console पे double click. हाँ. So I'll tell you how to debug. Here, एक minute. So नहीं, come down. एक second, अभी don't scroll. So now see, it is giving you where it is showing null pointer. कहाँ पे
Here
दिखा
it
रहा है?
is showing here.
Okay. नहीं, एक second. I'll just take the control. It's easier for me that way. So ये null pointer, you are right. So we are just checking all these are not our classes, right? So let's see whether
Yes,
we
ma'am.
can figure it out. So yeah, caused by, see this, caused by error in destroy of the pages here. तो यहाँ पे कुछ तो caused by root cause हमेशा देखना चाहिए. So let me see. So login servlet के इसमें problem है, destroy में problem है. So okay, I'll click here. Are you understanding how I'm finding out the root line? Caused
Yes,
by
ma'am.
reco, and here you are getting a null pointer. So let's see. Topic out, initialize करना भूल गए होगे. Yeah, see this. You have just declared the topic out, but you never created the instance. That's why null pointer. समझा?
Okay.
You understood, right, Aniket? You just declared the
ma'am.
reference variables, but you have forgotten to create the instances. So of course, the value of these references is null, so you got a null pointer. Got it?
Okay, ma'am. Got it, ma'am.
You just create that and it will be all right. Continue.
Okay. Thank you.
In another 5 minutes, I'm planning to log off. So guys, ask questions before that. Of course, we have other law faculty. And again, I'm making a statement. I know I'm bothering you. I mean, disturbing you. Absolutely no pressure of admin flow. See, I have to give you new and new in case anyone wants to try again. But even if you can, on your own, finish the customer part or the smaller part of the case study, I'm more than happy. So don't pressurize yourself. But if you are having any problems in understanding or doing, at least doing the things which we did together, definitely shout as in ask for help. So you continue. I'm still here for another 5 minutes. Okay, guys, anyone having any specific questions, queries, you want to share screen? Ask me anything from day 1 to what is today, day 5. Please ask without hesitation. No filters. Okay, you have my WhatsApp, you have my Gmail ID. Anytime you want to have some additional conversations, independent conversation, you can always write to me on WhatsApp. So please revise. Forget about admin flow if you are finding it difficult to manage. Definitely go through. I've got it revised in the lab session anyway. And please revise this, whatever we have said, little bit about client pool versus server pool, because tomorrow morning when we resume, the plan of tomorrow is I will continue to server pool and tell you some theoretical concepts, the exam objectives regarding servlet, such as servlet config, servlet context, something about executor framework. And hopefully in the second half, we will start with the next topic in J2E, that is your Java server pages, and continue along with. So do spend time without burdening in going through all we have done, and I'll take you ahead tomorrow. That will be all. See you around. You're all most welcome. See you tomorrow.